Alrighty, hello everyone. Let's get this thing live. And is that as zoomed out as we get? Might need a little better for today. Or I'll just condense. We got a lot of stuff on the desk. Oh, including Nico now. Let's go wide for a minute. That's gonna help. Okay, yeah, now we can see more of the situation. Yeah. Hello, Nico. Alright, well, the title's got it all. This is going to be basing and base coating, so I'm feeling excited about it. Let's see what we got. Once Nico gets out of the way. So anyone who follows my Discord or has been looking at my Instagram story, you've probably seen this base already. This was a tester I put together, and I'm very happy with it overall. The only thing I'm seeing now that I look at it again is maybe I want to make the rock more gray to make it stand out. But I'm very happy with this base. And so the first thing I'm going to do in this stream is make a few more of these and show y'all how I did it, which will mostly be ripping off a Duncan Roads tutorial. And to be honest, it's mostly ripping off a Duncan Roads tutorial, but it's a very good tutorial and I'm super excited about it, so I'm excited to make some more bases out of it. Show y'all the haul here. First of all, I've got a huge bag of bases that I just keep hold of. I recently bought some 50mm bases. I didn't need very many, so I went for the fancy GW ones. They were available. Probably could have gotten way more than that for what I paid, but whatever, I made a silly choice. But these are kind of the new hotness, or old hotness. I buy these. I really like the... I haven't tried a super ton of brands, but this one is fine, and I like it comes in a little box. The main thing is that I'm rebasing my 4-bikers, so I needed all of these oval bases, these 75mm ovals. And so you'll see right here, I've got 6 of them now. That'll be that for these. And then these are 40mm bases, which Ork fans, get ready to rebase. We are definitely... It's 100% confirmed that the new knob in the Armored Gun box is 40mm. So we have to rebase probably all of our knobs to 40mm. It's to be seen if they're going to make this retroactive to things like the Commandos, who, you know, have a box that they come in with pre-selected base sizes, but boys, certainly going to be 40mm bases. So be prepared for that. It could actually be done retroactively to all the boys eventually, but whatever happens, I'm prepared now. But I don't need these for today. Oh, right. Last note on this. If I do decide that I want to redo a bunch of my 32mm bases, I already have a ton of them. I actually have even more down here. So I might, if I get really ambitious and I really like these new bases enough. Let's say that without the bad rumbling. If I really like these bases enough and I feel ambitious, I might actually rebase like most of my backlog. No promises. That seems like a wild idea. But I might. I'm tempted. Alright, that's enough show-off time. No, it's not. Joke. Just found another thing to show off. So, y'all, I've decided to touch grass, go in the woods, take rocks, beat them up with hammers, and here we go. I've got crushed rocks. These are all slate, I think, or something like it. One of these is, like, actually granite. Who knows? But I've got a nice variety of small rocks, or very big rocks for showpiece bases. What else do I got? I went outside and I grabbed some sand. This is freshly out of the freezer to kill off any organics in it. And here's what else I have. I have expensive modeling sand that I paid entirely too much for. Ooh, this is model railroad ballast. Which I don't love that the grain sizes are super uniform, which is the same problem I have with this expensive modeling sand that I bought also. So my idea is that I'm going to take these large grains, these medium grains, these super fine grains, and I'm going to make a sandy mixture in a kind of backwards and expensive way. You should probably just go buy sand that has a variety of grain sizes if you're going to do this yourself. I was aware of that advice and I didn't follow it for whatever reason. Oops. I think it was just a matter of I was at the hobby store and I was like, yeah, I'll just get the stuff. I'll just get the stuff they already have. Alright, there's a little bit of grain size variety here. Maybe I don't need the big grains. Yeah, let's sprinkle some in for good measure. It's like making a cake. The sand is still cold, that's funny. Oh, that's a different density. So it sifts to the top. Well, just gotta live with it now. Alright, so there you go. Now we got a little bit of variety of stuff in my grits box. And do I care about the black sand? Do I want this ballast material? Let's throw it in and see how it looks. The ballast is almost indistinguishable from the other grains, but whatever, it all helps. It all helps the stew, the basing stew. Let's put away our expensive boutique sands. Go back to the playground stuff. Now, if I was really spicy, I could mix in these rock chunks, but then I wouldn't have just regular basic sand. The idea with this is now I can... Ooh, let's do an example. Zoom. I got some old bases here. Ah, here we go. This one has a bunch of random pork chunks on it. Hey, anyone in chat, can someone in chat explain why people do this on their bases? Like, I've seen people say, like, oh yeah, put cork on your base, it looks like rocks or something, and then I get bases like this, then I just end up with bases like this off of eBay, and I'm like, what is this supposed to look like? What, am I missing something? This doesn't look like anything. Hey Taco, how's it going? Taco, can you explain what I'm missing here as far as like why the hell people do bases like this? Like, who told them to do this? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, this one already has stuff stuck on it. Let's try this one as an example. I've seen it done a little better. That's fair, JD. I think I've also seen it done better. If I have actually, I haven't noticed that that's what's been going on. I guess it makes sense if I wanted to show like a general sand bases or rock bases. Yeah, I guess if I wanted to show off like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like loamy soil, that would work. We're gonna dilute down this glue a little bit. And here's a chip brush. Alright, always remember to thin your glues. I don't know if you need to thin your glues, I just found I didn't really love it. Alright, that's actually a little too thin. When I was doing full thickness, I didn't love how it worked. So anyway, I'm just going to dab this on in some... Oh, I immediately started working on the real base. Well, that'll have to come out in the edit. Let's... So I'm trying to make some like random shapes. So the less I focus and the more I turn off my brain, the better this is sort of going to be. Okay, so now I've got sort of a random assortment here. You could try drying and baking in an oven to kill the generic dry and organics and blend in some PVA glue to make a squashier substrate. Yeah, I've, this stuff's dried. General sand-based rock base, use actual soil. It's not actual soil, it's just sand. Aha. There we go. So now we got some interesting gritty areas. So that's the basic idea of this. I think I've seen this done on a lot of videos. Nothing new here, but the main thing is that I'm just being a little more selective with where it goes. Let's chill. While we let that dry, let's show off the next layer. So Taco, what I ended up doing, this was pretty clean sand. I sifted out any large organics and I just froze it to kill off any, you know, bacteria or whatever. So I'm hoping that's effective. If that's not going to be effective, oh, you just put it in there and jostle? Oh, we'll try the jostle. I'll try the jostle next time. Taco, do you have any reason to think that freezing the sand would be less effective than baking it? Okay. Oh, thanks, Sammy. Taco, you might be more knowledgeable on this than me. Because if this space is going to mold, I would like to know that now rather than later. And I can stop and just like go bake off this sand. Freezing is good for things like bugs or microbes. Bug eggs or microbes that can survive freezing. Ah, interesting. So is my base gonna start growing bugs? Is that a thing I should be worried about? I'll go bake the sand. Probably not, it's likely fine. Whew, okay. I'm gonna keep doing the thing I've got going then, so I don't have to interrupt stream. So I'm starting to notice that my rock piles might be a little large. The rocks themselves might be a little large. Might have to go at it with the hammer again. We'll just get some rocks out here. Alright, now I got some cheapo super glue. I'm gonna make a couple little rock piles. Hammer time. I've already hammer timed. I might need to hammer time again. So this is soil. This is being driven over by a bunch of unruly orcs. So I want to ensure that whatever I'm stacking up for rocks isn't all that bumpy. A little outcropping like that would be cool. Actually show what's going on here. See, like a little outcropping like that's pretty cool. And we'll sprinkle back on some sand here. Fill in the gaps. Just cover up any of that super glue. Ta-da! Alright, let's do a couple more of those. Yeah, let's just do a couple more little sections over here. Hello, Logan's Hobby Lair. Hammer Time 2 Electric Boogaloo. Yeah. Yeah, I was, when was that? I was like over the weekend, I was just in my basement, in my pajamas, just smashing up rocks with hammer. Had them all in like a tea towel or like an old rag. I don't remember exactly what it was. So the stuff didn't fly everywhere. It was interesting. I didn't expect the rocks to have like a smell associated with them. They had like a smell. They had like an interesting smell when I was breaking them apart. No idea what that was or why it was. Alright, got a couple little rocky outcroppings here. That one piece didn't stick so well. Okay. Oh, this is where I need the really thin super glue. Alright, some of these are not sticking as well. Okay. Maybe I should Elmer disease on as well. Alright, we've got some variety here. Slate or shale have a bit of a smell to it. They're technically mudstones. I believe that's what I had. Like to use a little texture paste around rocks if we need to fill in gaps to make it look more like sand and dirt. Okay. I do have texture paste. I do have texture paste. I'm not too worried about the color, actually. All this is going to get primed and then painted. So color is pretty irrelevant for what I'm trying to do here. That is a good advice, Taco, that you're saying you could just mix the paint directly in with the texture. That sounds cool. Alright. I am going to try what Taco is suggesting, especially around these rocks with big gaps, trying to fill them in with some sediment. So we'll brush them with some glue. Shake a shake. Ta-da! Okay, these lighter weight ones are kind of actually don't work super well for that technique. Damn, kind of regret putting them in here. So, just brush them off to the side. Alright, cool. So that's some variety now. Still relatively flat, nothing the war bite wouldn't be able to go over. We'll set that down, and now let's find some other fun shapes. I almost want to do the rice thing. Yeah, that looks nice. Oh, thank you. I also use different classifications of sand and silt to vary the sediments look, but that's because I'm a geologist, at least by education. Yeah, Taco, what I'm going to end up doing here is filling the rest of this in with texture pastes. So either gray earth here, which is like a fine grit, or this technical, this is like a dried mud. So I'm going to fill everything in with some combination of those two after all this dries. That's first couple steps. So now we got 4 more of these to do. And I want them to not all be repetitive. A little worried about them being repetitive. I could do that, like, rice trick that people do for, like, making maps of, like, fantasy worlds. Or I could just... throw some rocks around, see where they land. Like chaos orbit, you know? Trust me, let me cook. Hold on, this is gonna do something. Let me cook. Alright, some of these are too rocky. Well. I have a nearby shop that sells stuff for different scale model railroads, so getting bags of various scale dirt is easy. Oh yeah, I'm sure I have places I could buy that stuff. I'm trying to go cheap on a lot of this. Just to try it out, you know? So I'm like going in the woods behind my work or whatever. Hey, okay. So we kinda did some randomness here. Let's try to formalize it. Alright, so this first one, we've got sort of like this horseshoe, and then this corner is all covered up. Okay. We'll follow that pattern. Get some nice paste going here again. Okay, so this one got a whole corner here. Then like a horseshoe shape, which maybe we can merge these together. There we go. And dip. Great. I'll clean up the edge. And move on to the next one. So I'm not actually looking for where I'm going to literally place the rocks. I'm just trying to get an idea. I'm just trying to do like a random pattern somehow so that I can get out of my own head here. Yeah, Taco, you're just being anxious. You're good. I'm not taking offense. Yeah. No, I understand. I don't have to like go out to the shop and get different textures, different scales. Actually, I think you missed it at the beginning of the stream here. I've already forgotten what the pattern for this was. So I was mixing together a bunch of different scaled brains sediments that I already have, just to sort of make them work. Alright, this is looking a little similar already. Alright, so this one we're going to do a big stripe across the middle, we're going to hook back. That's what I'm seeing. So just to get me out of my head, because I'm very pattern seeking, like all humans are, we all have this problem. My brain is so analytical that I really do worry about my ability to generate a random pattern. So using some organic inspiration like this, some randomness, just to get a feel for a random pattern, I feel like is that's how I want to go about it. And look at that. Yeah, I think that's my approach. I kind of just take a random pattern like this, I get the vibe of it, and then I just go in there and I turn off my brain. And I go, how did I... This one's kind of a half moon. Maybe there was like a protrusion here. And around there. Great. Cool. And now this one is almost like an H. That's Destiny's gonna be such a mess. Oh my gosh. Let's get that H shape. offset it like this. A little bit symmetrical. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I think I was a little off camera there. That's a fun one. That's a good shape. Sand it. Cool. Okay. Now that I'm working this small, I'm actually going to get my zoom going. Perfect. Now all these bases want a little bit of rock piling. Or I want a little bit of rock piling for all these bases. So I'm going to go wherever the sediment is most piled up. And just start introducing a few. Some nice big ones. A lot of smaller scatter now. Oops. Kind of forgot how wet everything is. What I really want to do here is drop on super dried out, like super glue. I don't think sorry, super thinned out super glue, which I don't think I have. Heck, for that matter, where's my paint cup? Oh, there it is. Okay, I've got to do a hard thing for me, which is let things dry, let layers dry. Okay, I'm messing it up already. Got to let layers dry. I get impatient as hell with my stuff, like not waiting for dry times. That one's managed to not be a sticky mess anymore. It's especially a problem for stream though, because I always want to have something interesting happening, and watching paint dry is not all that interesting to me. Damn, Sammy, you're really keeping me hydrated tonight. Dang, alright. So we got a few there that need to just dry. I can come in and do the paste and the other layers later. Thank you for the hydrate there, Sammy. I might not be able to do a whole base here, just considering the dry time, but we'll at least get them started. I did get pretty far with this one. Maybe I was just more brave with that one. Or I had more time for it to dry while I was explaining things. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. So I think in the Duncan Rhodes tutorial, he ended up putting the rocks down before adding the sediment, which would save me a step, but it would also mean I'd have to wait for everything to dry in between steps. So that is why I'm doing it this way. Then some more super glue here. I'm gonna sprinkle. Sprinkling. Cool. 2 more. Especially on these warbikers, I think it makes sense to put the rubble out of the way because they take up so much of the middle of the base that if I can put it toward the sides, it's good. What miniatures are going to be on these bases? That's a good question. Warbikers. Here's the test model I'm currently working on. Trying to do the color scheme. Oh, hey, what's up? Oh. Yeah, it's probably one of those. My neighbor just walked in. I think she's helping with the motorcycle downstairs. Yes, she is. Okay, I was just a little surprised. But yes, Echo, it is these ones. These warbikers. I don't know exactly which one's going on which base yet, other than the fact that this guy is going on... Where did it go? Oh, this base. Yes, this guy is going on this base. He's going to do a cool jump because he's got like this... I feel like he's just got the most dynamic pose. He looks the most like he's going off of a rock jump. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say 100%. So this guy's going on this base. The other 5, I don't know, they're going on some sort of bases. Oh, okay, yeah, we can definitely do that. Alright. Good luck with your, with the carburetor stuff. Oh boy. I was hoping to hear it was going better. Oh boy. Alright. Why can't I eat the sand? You know, I never said you couldn't, but I'll tell you now you shouldn't. Can't really stop you. I thought when you said that's a good question you hadn't decided yet. No, like a weed direction might get that base. No, I'm being pretty specific with these. No, they're I bought some used warbikers. So 3 of them already didn't have bases. And the 3 that did have bases, I did them sort of in a rush last October, and I didn't like them. So I'm rebasing all 6 warbikers at the same time. Here, let me catch you up on the project for anyone who's not aware of what I'm doing right now. So, I am... Where is everything? Yeah. Move things in. So basically, I am trying to save my money right now because I have a planned surgery coming up. I've been telling my community about this, and I will actually be taking a pretty good break from streaming in about, well, next month. I'm going to be okay, don't worry about it. But because of that, I'm saving my money. And because I'm saving my money, I'm not buying a lot of new orcs right now, except the Armageddon box. I've been planning for that all year. So, instead of getting a bunch of new orcs, I'm celebrating old orcs that I already have. Slash ones I could get for like less than half price at the game store used. So I've got 6 of the old warbikers, which are the current warbikers, but we know they're getting a new kit, and the old warboss on bike, also known as Darippa, because of his weapon, Darippa. So I'm pretty excited about this. And then hopefully later this year, I will get the box of the new warbikers, possibly with Wazdaka at the same time. And then I'll have an old school set of warbikers and a warboss, and a new school set of warbikers and a warboss. And then I'm going to get my Speedwa together. That's the idea, at least. I want to have a whole Evil Sons detachment of my army. Let's see. Oh, I meant to say I'm going back to my old job in July. Start date set for mid-July. Oh, I thought you were already back at your old job. Okay, good for you. Maybe you were just training. So I'll be able to start saving properly for getting future surgeries and stuff since I can't rely on insurance anymore. Huh. Okay. Cool. I'm not 100% following, but you can DM me the details on that. That sounds lovely. I thought you were painting 40,000 orcs, not orcs for 40k. Yeah, I'm a very humble start to my 40,000 orc painting journey. Yeah, I think I'm still not even in the hundreds, so... We can get there, though. Alright, I need to get some rocks on these bases. We got rocks on base. I'm just thinking about that we got weights and fish meme. Lovely. Oh, it's both y'all this time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, what horrors are you facing?
So we tried to take a screw off the carburetor to replace it with something else.
Okay.
Correct?
Oh,
Have to drill it out.
the new carburetor? Oh.
To drill it out, went to go put a new screw in. The new screw snapped in the remains of the old one. So we're gonna file off the top and then drill in again.
Okay.
I love you.
Love you. Good luck.
Thanks.
Like I said, we need it.
Yeah. What? Focus. Focus. Why do you pay all this money for a camera if it's not gonna focus? Alright, well that sounds not very fun. Is this what it's like to need glasses? Apparently, yes. Gecko Gill, I don't know why the hell my camera is doing that so much lately. It's probably because I talked to Big Game about how cool the autofocus was gonna be on my new camera. That's not even... Okay, rock piles. Do you like the white dragon I painted? Absolutely, Gecko Gill. I think I already told you that. I think it's really nice. Contrast paints are fun. They definitely help for bringing a lot of volume and, like, you know, visual interest to larger minis like that especially. But yeah, I don't know that I've even painted a large mini like that, you know, like a big monster before. It seems like a challenge, but you definitely handled it. I have a... Let's see. Oh. Just right. Something, anything to get more stones on here. Let's see if Elmer's glue works. Now that I'm doing the last ones. Yeah, sorta kinda seems to work. What's the... Oh wow, that is stuck to the desk. Oh, it's a mess out here. Hey, so what's the thing people do that they get the glue to just like flow over the top when they're securing things? Is that just super watered down super glue? Is that just very thin super glue? Would love to know what that trick is, because I could use it right now. I've accidentally glued my paintbrush to the desk. Here, let's just do the old faithful. Just add more glue when in doubt. And then we'll come in here and do some grit. Okay, that's probably the better way to resolve this issue. Just coming around with more super glue. Yeah, okay, okay. That's just what I'll do for the rest of these. Hold on. I bought the cheap super glue in large quantities, so I could do exactly this type of stuff. See, that's better. Zoom, please. Focus, please. It's dead center on the camera. Focus, please. Oh, it's... Is it not dead center on the camera? We just gonna shift. Okay. Well, since all this glue is drying, we might need to switch over to airbrush times. Just as soon as I finish adding sand and craft all these. Good. Let's see. I'm a little too focused on the basing right now. I will catch up in chat in just 1 second. Alright, good. Got 5 textured up bases. Alright, what's happening in chat? Having a hard time getting my camera to work with my capture card, but I also got a new desktop yesterday. The other one died to death. Cool. Well, let's see. Oh, you decided to paint it as a little personal reward for graduating? Well, congratulations on graduating. Hope you got something exciting coming next. Obviously, you don't need to tell details here. It's the internet. But whatever you're doing next, I hope it's fulfilling. That's an exciting step. Let's see. Sometimes it's super thin glue, and sometimes it's a spray of isopropyl followed by a second layer of watered down PVA. Oh, okay. Interesting. Thank you, Lodian's Hobby Lair. I'm gonna have to explore that on another time when I'm not live on camera, but thank you for pointing me in the right direction, at least. Alright, let's sweep up the rocks. Whatever didn't get glued to my desk. Shit. I think once these dry, the next step is going to be my texture pastes. Then everything will get primed and etc, etc. Yeah. Well. That one's lost forever. Sorry to say. That's all she wrote. Put away my sandbox. The super glue that I definitely got all over everything. Let's see. Does anyone else have shrimp posture while painting models? A little bit. I find that being on camera helps me with that a bit. I also work like sitting at a desk, so I'm fairly upright. But I did put a little bit of time into ergonomics for my setup. The whole thing is set up so basically when I sit in my chair, my elbows are resting on the desk and my hands are like at face height, which I'm not always locking my wrists together, but I do that when I'm trying to paint really precisely. So if you have control over your setup, you know, maybe try and get something where you're sitting literally like... Oh, almost spilled a cup of water. 5 wide. It's not really showing all the thing. Here, we're gonna just go free cam for a second. See, literally my stomach is touching the edge of my desk right here, right? So I'm able to be on top of my desk without having to bend over. So that's my sort of ergonomic setup. I would recommend something like that for you. Gotcha. I'm painting my family's dining room table. Yeah, that's tough. Whenever I'm painting at something that's not my desk, I usually get way worse posture. But if you can just try to get as close to the table as you can and actually really get your elbows up, you're not eating dinner, so it's not rude. Use your magnifier to help keep you in an upright position. That makes sense. Yeah, if I shrimp too much though, like my head comes on camera and then I notice. So that's a good feedback mechanism too. But if you do that when you have to start streaming. Okay, what the hell am I even doing next? I have so little executive function spoons left over these days. Which tells you how work is going right now. Chaotic as hell. So as a result, my painting has kind of become a little more chaotic to cope. Alright, let's wipe this out. We're getting the airbrush set up, by the way. I do better with larger models for some reason. Oh, with posture? Okay, cool. I mean, that makes sense. I guess you can see them from farther away. Also, this is fun. I just bought a big pack of paint stirrers. Because I saw someone, and maybe we all saw this video. I liked it quite a lot. This person showed this setup where they speed painted. And what they did is they lined up all their orcs and stuff along a stick. I'm still getting more poster tack. That's in the mail right now. But you can imagine, right? People do this for priming, but what he was doing was actually just setting it up, right? So for batch painting. So if I was doing this, right, and I want to do all my swords at the same time, all my choppas, I would just set them up like this, you know? And I would do like similar shapes next to each other. So I might organize them like this, just so everything's as close to the same orientation as possible, and then just go down the line painting every choppa. You know, I think so. That's a pretty nice idea. And I'm about to paint even more orcs, so I'm gonna try that out. Anyway, that's enough going off stuff I bought online. Du Bois on the stick. Exactly, Du Bois is on the stick. You got the spirit. You also finally broke your 1 month art block? Oh, okay. I think that's the first mini I'd seen from you in a while, so good job. I don't know that I've ever... It's been a long time since I've gone a month without touching minis, but there are quite a lot of weeks lately where the only time I paint is when I'm on stream here, to be honest. Streaming is actually keeping me really regular with my habits of painting. If anything, I actually want to be streaming more so I can be painting more, but priorities. What the hell? Cat toy stuck to the underside of this. Nico's on it, don't worry. Here we go. I know nothing about 40k. All I know is that there are bug guys and orcs are very interesting. Well, I'm glad you think orcs are very interesting. That kind of explains why you're here. 40k is cool, but I feel bad. I would feel bad telling you about it because, I don't know, as far as I understand, you're like freshly out of high school and you probably don't have the money to get into 40k right now. It is very cool. It's a thing I waited until... It's a thing that I waited until I was a full adult, fully in my, career out of college to be able to do, because prior to that, I just did not have the time or money for this. But you paint a lot of D&D minis, which I think is a much more sustainable hobby that you can get into younger, for sure. Or without spending as much money. Warhammer is just, especially with the popularity of it, has just become very expensive. I love it, and I spend a lot of time doing it, and I don't buy as many models as a lot of other people do, so I can kind of justify it, but yeah, it's getting hard to recommend to people just based on price alone. But the lore is super interesting, painting models is cool, and it's not a thing you gotta do Warhammer to do. I don't know. I love it. I have the money to afford it sometimes, but then sometimes, like right now, I don't, and so I'm just making do with what I already own and what's cheap. What was I saying? What was I doing? Oh yeah, we were going to base coat. All Alright, so if we look here, this is my test model. I've done a lot of extra colors here. I've sort of gotten blocked in where I want black to be to really make the red panels pop more. This is maybe the best example of a test piece I've done of my actual red. Now, my neighbor who paints, the other neighbor, not the one that just came up here, very good at painting, and recommended I try to go even darker on the red for my shadow color. So I'm going to try to do that. Or like neutralize it with a complementary color. Now, he recommended green. I'm going to go with blue based on the exact shade of red I'm going for being a little bit more orangey. Just looking at a real color wheel, it's, I think the turquoise blue should work out. So what are our steps gonna be? Well, here's what I did last time, and it's very back and forth. Maybe I could streamline this. Granted, I enjoy Pokemon cards, so that's my money pit hobby. Yeah, I was not expecting that scalping thing to last as long as it has. It's wild that it's still going on. It's been years now. All right, let me show off what I've been doing so far. So, start with, I've been doing a zenithal highlight. Actually, just like a volume sketch. Or sorry, a value sketch. So to start with, I've been doing a value sketch, which is like a zenithal highlight, but way more detailed. So I'm not just going white over the top of everything. I'm going to build up from grays into white, maybe with like an actual true bright white at the top of this. These you'll notice are warm grays. They're very yellowish. This one's quite dark as well. I'm doing that because I'm painting a warm color over top. If I was painting like blue, it wouldn't be a problem to use normal white, but see, normal white paint is what we would call a cold white, or this is a dead white. So the pigments in here are much more blue toned when you really get down to it. That's especially apparent in black, because black, right, is the absence of color, and so what black ends up being is just very, very dark pigments. So in this case, this black here would be like a cold black. So I don't want a cold black or a cold white. I want to have a warm gray over as much of this model as possible, except for the very deepest shadows, and then bone white anywhere that I want things a little bit brighter, because then the red coats that go over top are going to look extra nice. That's the first two steps. Cannot really get around the first two steps. Alright, after that, obviously at some point we gotta get the red in there. Once the red is in there, I want some sort of an orange to sort of build in a highlight, like a brighter red. I'm trying to remember exactly which orange I want to use. I think lava orange feels about right. Yeah, so I'm going to use lava orange, I think, in some combination to build like a volumetric highlight. Actually, if I do a good enough job with the undercoat, maybe I don't need to go too hard on this, but yeah, I probably need both of these colors somewhere. Okay. Following that, I want this blue here to really darken down my shadow color and desaturate my shadows. So I'll probably at some point come back in with a very dark blue here to deepen my shadows. Maybe even mix that with black to get things like really dark. Anything I'm missing? No, I think that's the rough plan. I think that is it. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So we've got an ad break starting pretty soon, Twitch folks. So I am going to finish getting my airbrush stuff set up and grab some more water. And once we're back from that ad break, we'll get started airbrushing. golden colors are nice. I just started dipping into them for minis. Yeah, I really do like golden. I've got a great local shop that has a lot of their products. And I find the fluid acrylics are especially, sorry, their high flow acrylics are really nice through the airbrush. Okay. We'll run until that ad comes. Air compressor's on. That's priming amounts of PSI. This is one of the only really messed up things about my current setup, is how far away the pressure gauge on the air compressor is. Oh, we're in the ads. Okay, oops, I didn't clean this well enough last time. Oh boy, I did not clean this well enough last time. I might have forgotten to clean it at all. It's okay. Yep, that is indeed what happened. Just trying to pack the needle out here. Oh man. This is a great do as I say, not as I do situation. Alright, Puffy Merc over at YouTube. Hello. So you have Orkish flesh color, or you need to mix it? I'm actually going to be doing the red, because I'm doing Warbikers here. So the main color I'm trying to get laid down right now is the red for all the armor panels. I'm not too concerned about the orc skin. I'm pretty comfortable doing that with a brush. So just given that the main color here is red, and the hardest color to paint is going to be red. That's what I'm going to focus my efforts on, with the airbrush at least. Yeah, damn, my working memory's just been especially awful recently, I can't believe I forgot to do this. So I kind of need the needle in for that. Oh, wow. Dunk the whole thing in acetone. Yeah. may indeed need to do that. Got the bushing out of it at least. Now we can get a brush in there. Hey, welcome back, Twitch. Thanks for sticking around through the ads. I realized that I forgot to clean out my airbrush last time I used it. Just brutal. My functional memory, as I was saying, is really not doing great recently. So, just keep finding more and more stuff like this. That's okay, we will get it cleaned up. Alright, your local shop only has Army Painter and Citadel. I feel like that's fine though. My favorite shop, well, I think they're expanding their paint selection because they've just expanded their store. But they only had Army Painter and Citadel. And honestly, I really like the Army Painter stuff. Citadel is good too, don't let anyone tell you otherwise, but the exception of a few colors, their stuff's quite good. I just don't like the paint pots because of the way I paint, which is a very common take in the hobby, I find. Okay. Just realized they don't have the big WizKid models like the adult dragons, probably because of the big price, the insane price jump. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of those things just end up becoming like showcase models for the store themselves. I don't know how many people are actually buying those. Okay. I was not expecting to have an impromptu airbrush cleaning session here. Yep, that's isopropyl. Alright, we're just gonna soak this for a second. Okay, the front is pretty clean, it's just the paint cup itself now. Let's put it all in there. That is better. Anyway. It's okay, Spackle, it's an easy fix. You had its spray port started, don't forget this run. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that, Merch. Yeah, no, I'm just a little disappointed in how much time it's gonna take to fix, but just feel a little silly about the whole thing. Almost. Yeah, it might need a bath to get the last of the residue down there, but I don't think that's enough to stop it from working for the stream. Let's try to just clear out the space behind it here. Great. Just didn't bend the needle. That's strange. Something's stopping the needle from going through. Weird. Oh, the button was out of place. Oops. Great. That looks fine. Alright, now we're back. Alright, a little bit of a scary diversion there. Let's start with the gray, I guess. Anywho. Let's see. Did I see the 11th edition trailer? Big E looks extra grimdark, although they showed 3 versions. It's low-key, very close to the old fan art. The golden armored version, at least. You know, it's funny, I really don't know what's official and what's fan art because so much of the 40k art that gets, like, really popular is fan art. I guess I did see the new trailer that they put together. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know, all the orc clips I'd already seen before, that's kind of, I don't know. I think it does a really good job of setting the tone for the setting, though. Like, the whole, remind me where the, because I know the words to that were not original. I'm pretty sure that's just, like, the whole there is, in the, you know, grim darkness of the far future, there's only war, is, like, the whole summary, like, opening paragraph to any lore book explaining what 40k is. But I just wonder, how far back does that exact, you know, paragraph go? Is that like from the very first editions, or did they just drop it in midway and now it's like a classic thing everyone knows about? Genuinely curious. I do not actually know. Oh, almost forgot. Gotta glove up here. I don't have my hand all painted. Okay. Too thin. Okay, a little thin. Let's go for it. So for this first layer of gray, I'm going to go from maybe about 45 degrees. Actually closer to 60 from vertical. The idea of that is that I really want the red to be bright, especially on these side profiles. And so the red isn't actually making a value climb all the way from 0 to 10. It's going really more from the mid-range up until some of the brightest values. If I was doing this out of a rattle can, I would probably have just primed the whole thing like bone white. But I'm going to try and take advantage of the black primer to give really true black shadows. Alright, so we've got a general gray all around. We'll heighten the angle and just increase coverage now. So now we've got already a little bit of a gradient going there, just using the same color. So now, coming from the very top, I'll just go for even a third coat of the same gray. And you can see, you know, again, gradient's starting to become pretty strong, even just with this one gray tone. Now I'm just going around and trying to make sure that anything that could be red gets good coverage. So like this ammo box down here. Maybe I paint that red. I'm not decided yet. But it needs to have a strong foundation. Oh, on the side here as well, I missed it. Cool. Alright, so that one's looking pretty nice. Oh, and we're out of gray. Perfect. Means I can clean out my airbrush. And we'll go to the next color as a demonstration. Let's see what Sketch Hotel is saying. You're talking about the young white dragon being 15 bucks, the adult one being 80. That is quite a price jump for dragons. My D&D group, we actually use the minis I paint. It's just so amazing seeing your own creations being used and people liking them. Yeah, Gecko, that's actually what I do in my group now. I am responsible for basically all the painted minis in my group. My DM has not yet been handing me monsters and stuff to paint, although maybe eventually. That'd be pretty fun. But I ended up painting minis for all of my fellow players, which is really cool. Tort. Where are you from? I'm in the United States, northern United States. That's all I really want to say online. But hello, welcome to chat. Good to see you over there. Ivan Landry, I guess. You just got your full freaking name on YouTube over there. Right. Remember, bread makes everything go faster. Yeah, true. That is why I'm painting the red today. Honestly, oh, and I'm a broken record, but I say the same things every stream, and that's okay. I'm allowed to repeat talking points. I just really like a lot of the different orc cultures and the different clans, and I just want to have a nice representation of all of them in my army. At the very least, I want to have evil suns, bad moons, and goths right now. I might add the others in more with time. I have a few snake bites. That's about it. Main question mark? I have a boutique of hobby stuff called L'Adventure Table in Levis, and yes, I am. I don't hide. That's chill. No, definitely not Maine, but if I'm ever out there, I'll look you up. That sounds cool. Soggy Bogwitch, boo, hello. A boo to you too. Alright, we're coming back in with the bone white now, which is ever so slightly brighter from the top. Now this is even warmer than the previous gray I used as well, so this will be an especially nice base layer for all the reds. See, so that's sort of an overall zenithal, and it just adds another dimension to how bright the top is here. And so now I get to be a little fancy, and I'm going to come in at an angle and really aggressively try to highlight all the red stuff. Anything metal, anything exposed to the outside that I might want to make red. I'm getting in close, I'm maintaining the angle on my brush, but I'm getting in close and I'm trying to get it a top-down highlight. Because the last thing I want is to have a red panel that's desaturated because I didn't give it a bright enough undercoat. Okay, I think this guy's all undercoated now. Alright, let's go through, now that I've shown how I want to do this Zenithal. And we'll actually do the gray on all the other ones. Oh yes, happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, Gecko Gill and Soggy Bogwitch. I'm gonna have a doozy of one. If you know, you know. And also we just recently, one of the floats for our local parade, we will actually be helping store it for a while in our driveway. I just found that out tonight, so yay, we're involved. It's fun being involved. Going to your first event, Pride event next weekend? Oh, chill. Well, have a fun time. Stay hydrated. Please stay hydrated. Hey, free idea, steal it, alright? So, alright, y'all, I'm just gonna put this one out there. I think I've given this idea to a friend already. I don't know if she ended up running with it, but I'm just giving it out there for free, alright? If you like Pride festivals, if you're in the community, okay? So there are companies out there that, okay, let's actually start with foundations. So we know how humans need water, and water is often not free at large outdoor festivals, and this is a problem. Well, this is a problem if you have a Pride festival, because a lot of people in the community, especially people who are newly out, don't have access to a lot of great resources and are often poor. So, what do people who are newly out, don't have access to great resources, often poor, maybe overwhelmed by finally being in community for the first time? Are they going to drink water at $5 a bottle? Hell no, they're not, and they're going to get heat stroke or something. So, you want to protect community, what do you need at Pride? You need free water. How do you get free water? Well, one way is that you could band together a bunch of resources and just pay for water. I'm going to start painting this red as I do this. Well, the other way that you might consider is that there are companies all over the country, all over the world, that do water treatment. Colligan, to name one, and all their competitors, which there's a lot of local guys that do that. But we'll just shout out Colligan because that's an example. They have local branches. They're always advertising. They're like local franchises. The local franchisees, I believe, have authority over how and where they advertise. And so, as long as you don't live in a total one-horse town where your water treatment guy hates the LGBT community, they probably want an advertising opportunity. So, call those places up and ask them, hey, how about we give out free water at Pride and you put up a booth and you can advertise your stuff? Free idea, take it. Like, if that gets one event to have free water, I would be so happy. Seriously, those dudes, the people who run those companies are trying to sell water filters, and they will, if you can tell them literally, hey, just help out, it's like charitable, and you can write it off on your taxes, and it's an advertising opportunity. Literally, just come, put up a sign, have some brochures, there you go. Just provide water. Like, there you go. That's what you need. I think literally if you just set up a tent, oh, hey, that's an idea. Oh, I remember the exact framing of this. So this is a friend who was part of a local gay men's choir. It's gender inclusive now, she, her. But anyway, she was part of this choir. She's trans, so, you know, had a male, traditionally vocal range voice, just to be clear. You know, there's some tradition still being held there. But anywho, we came up with the idea of not only doing this idea, but also having like couches, shade, you know, community, you know, food, like snacks and stuff. Just basically having a space away from all the action where people could come and recuperate. And because it was part of the Gay Men's Choir, we came up with the idea of calling this booth Rest, sponsored by the This City Gay Men's Choir. Steal that too. All right? Rest was such a good fucking name for this because you could just make it rest and then have like a whole rest, like, you know, or like a half rest or whatever hanging off of it, or the fancy one that everyone recognizes. Like, oh my god. I'm remembering this idea now and it's so good. Please, please don't let this idea just be a thing that I thought of and then it never got used. No, that's literally such a great idea. Yeah, so contact your local gay men's choir or trans choir or whatever you got going in your city and give them this idea. And I'll have to catch up with that friend and see if she ever did this. I hope she did it. Now, I'm realizing I forgot a step in my color pyramid here, in my color chain. So, you see this is very bright. This is very bright red. It's almost orange. That's because I forgot my dark red. I forgot I was supposed to have a dark red. There will be snacks at grocery stores sponsoring. That's fantastic. That's good to hear. Yes, very important stuff. Food. I'm local to Zephyr Hills. I can try the Big Spring Bottler. FYI, tested this brand is maybe the best on the market. I bet they'd do it. Hell yeah, get the Big Spring Bottlers in there. Get them to bottle up some water and send it to Pride. Yeah, I just think it's too good of an idea, you know? I just think it's too good of an idea. Okay. We're back to actually painting. So this is way brighter than I wanted it to be. So let's first, we've got this burnt red here, the Monument Hobbies burnt red. A little bit thinner already. Shadowing or darken it, I don't think it's bad. Agreed, it's not bad. But I'm gonna try and get some shadows on here from direct from the airbrush. So I'm gonna come in from the bottom. With my burnt red. We're going to try and blend this up. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's bad. And hey, maybe if this works out, I'll do my main color before I do my shadowing next time. So I'm going from even a wider angle down here, like a 45. Oh, make sure we don't miss the backside of those guns. Because what I want to do next, and we're really just testing things again on one model. What was I saying? What I want to do next is come in and darken even more from the very deepest shadows. Maybe with like that turquoise color. Okay, see that's got a pretty beautiful gradient right there. This side is maybe a little bit less intense. I think I've probably overdone the dark on this side. Yeah, that's what it is. But look at that. That's a very nice little gradient right there already. I'll be satisfied if all my volumetric highlights are essentially done, and all I have to do is like edge highlighting and a little bit of cleanup. I'm assuming there are comments I'm not seeing. Yes, I'm dual streaming right now, so I'm also reading my YouTube chat. Soggy. Yeah, sorry. I don't know. I post videos over there, so I feel like it's good for engagement to stream on both platforms. And yeah, I can't show chat from both on stream though, just because that actually violates Twitch TOS. That's okay. It's okay, I'm fine. I was just like, wait, what's she reading? Yeah, no, I've got people on 2 platforms. Alright, so we've got that. Let's try deepening the shadows here. And this is where this is going to be a very back and forth process. I gotta remind myself, it is speed painting, even if it takes longer. The fact that I'm getting this done with the airbrush is already speed paint. It's already fast. And this doesn't really need the thinning. Alright, so this blue is a lovely color. Look at this turquoise. Gorgeous. Now, the problem with this turquoise that I'm seeing right now is that its value is way too damn high. It's also a little too thin. Turned on my airbrush. Yeah, that's better. So this is beautiful. I love these fluid acrylics. Like, look how freaking smooth this is. Right out of the bottle. That's not thinned. That is right out of the freaking bottle. Oh my god. Not sponsored. Just, if you haven't tried it, just... Here's how I found out that this stuff is good through an airbrush, okay? I went to my local store, and I asked them... Actually, originally, I went to the store, and I asked them, like, hey, do you guys sell, like, you know, like, anything like Games Workshop, like, contrast paints? I see you have a few contrast paints here. They were like, I don't even know what that is. I was like, oh, it's kind of like a thin, translucent paint. That you can kind of go on like super thin with. I was trying to do it through the airbrush, and they're like, well, actually, we have some really thin, transparent paints, and these go really nice through an airbrush, and that's how I found out about these. So, go search for hobby supplies in places you wouldn't think of. In this case, this was an art supply store, and they've actually gotten more into selling miniatures ever since I've been going there. I don't know if that was me in particular, but, yeah, no, this is, this golden high flow is, like, gorgeous through an airbrush. Oh my god. Am I the first person in history to discover this in the mini hobby painting world even? No, absolutely not, but I found it out because I talked to people at my local art store. Go support small businesses, it's freaking great. Life's an adventure when you get outside the corporate world, it's awesome. Alright, what the hell am I saying? Right. So I want to desaturate this and I want it darker. Perfect thing for that, black. I mentioned how I didn't want cold colors before for my red. That's true. I don't want cold colors for my red. It's going to desaturate it. But for my shadows, that's exactly what I want. So we've got a cold black, which is even colder because we're mixing with blue. We're going to mix. We're going to bring the value of this color way down so it can serve as a proper shadow. And with any luck... Ooh, that's quite dark. That is quite dark there. I like that. Let's try it. Ooh. Now, I'm saving this just from the very darkest recesses of everything. Try not to go anywhere above 0 degrees here. Just really hit the underside of everything. Try to hit the tires a little bit. Nope, don't want to be that risky. Alright, now look at it. Ooh, okay. That's pretty nice. And so now we've got some very dark shadows at the bottom here. Blending into the burnt red that I had previously, up into the current red color that I have, which I'll need to restore right here. And honestly, that's pretty damn good. It's very nice and bright. So all I think I need now is I'm going to come back and I'm going to... Actually, I'm going to dump this into my... there wasn't very much left for this cup, but we'll dump it in there just to save it. So what I think I need now is my mid-tone red again. And once I restore the couple little panels that I accidentally overpainted too much with my shadow red, then I'm going to... Not bad. Well, thank you, Mert. Yeah, I agree. I feel like it looks pretty cool. Yeah, one of my friends actually, it's my neighbor who also paints when he's really damn good at mini painting. Encouraged me to do more of a back and forth with the airbrush, and it's doing work. The red looks nice for contrast. The bright red was good. I agree, the bright red was good. Now, because I've come back from the bottom, I've kind of painted over that bright red, so bright red comes back in. This is where it's a back and forth process. Now, that also means that it's going to take freaking forever to do these. It's not much of a speed painting technique. Oops. That brush was loaded up with blue. My bad. Anyway, it's not much of a speed painting technique, but it's still faster than doing this all by hand. Get in there. Jesus. This is sort of the new arc I'm in as a mini painter, is aiming less for speed and more for good results reasonably fast. Good results being key, reasonably fast being totally optional and often not achieved. Dr. Dill's going to bed. Okay, well, thank you for stopping by stream and chatting so much. I appreciate it. Congratulations, grad. And yeah, always good to see you. Hope to see more of your D&D painting soon, now that you're past your art block. Very thin. Alright, we managed. We figured it out. Alright, so we're back to our mid-tone red. And come back in. So this one, see, this is overly dark. Just gonna kiss it from the top here. Gentle this time. See, it's coming back. Had some tip dry? Oh yeah, that's tip dry. Okay, I was wondering why my paint wasn't working. It's a bad tip dry. Alright, come on. Actually lucky to have gotten as far as I did without encountering tip dry. Let's go again. Why is this so severe? Okay. There we go. So now... Yeah, there we go. See, now we're getting that bright red back in here. Alright, so now that's a very nice red so far. It's a really nice red. Let's finish it off. So what I'm gonna do here is just do a half step up into orange. Where are my... There we go. Orange is a little jammed. Alright, that's orange now. It's one of the tough things about orange, but it's working in my favor here, is that very few shades in the visible spectrum actually read as orange. And so when you're trying to paint something orange, there's a very limited series of pigments that actually read as a authentic orange. Which is why if we're looking at something like, you know, the Army Painter Fanatics are a great example of this. They'll have all sorts of different stuff. They'll have, like, you know, warm reds, ruddy reds, you know, bright, you know, cold whites, warm whites. For orange, they have oranges. They have sits tones, and this one's basically yellow, and this one's basically red. So there's not a lot of orange pigments out there in the world. So that means when I add orange to this pigment, I end up with something that's, you know, still basically red, but just brighter. Now we're gonna come here. Just the very brightest zenithals. And we're gonna hit our very warm red. Actually, in fact, comparing that to this, I can even go a little bit more. See, what you end up with, it doesn't look more like orange. Well, it does with a little bit in my camera here. It just looks like super bright saturated red. Trust me though, in person, in context, this looks very red. It's probably a white balance thing. It also could just be my screen that makes it look red. This is a difficult thing. This is a difficult thing. Color accuracy in recorded and streamed media. Tricky stuff. Hard to tell if I'm nailing it, but check that out. I think it's safe to say we've nailed this. That is just a gorgeous red straight out of the bottle. Straight out of the bottle, straight off the airbrush. And if I want to go even further, I can add a couple of edge highlights here and there. But the basis is these really beautiful volumetric highlights. I'm actually really sad that I'm going to be painting this silver because, oh my god, that turned out so nice. I might just have to leave this panel red because it looks so good. What with all the little holes and stuff. Yeah, this panel might just need to be left red. But yeah, unfortunately this will be going gunmetal or silver or something. Alright, and that... I think that's it. That's one of them. Good lord, that means that I have to do all the rest of them now. But we got some time. Where are my other little paint cups? We need more little paint cups. I need them. Oh wait, oh don't jump up right now, that would be a bad idea. Okay. You know what? Although it's done now, you found that shade red, must keep going. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm tempted to keep going. I do need to go very quickly grab a little bit of water. I should have an ad break coming up soon, actually. So, Mert, you're reading my mind. It is a little tempting to stop right now. I need a little second here to reset things. I do need to get some more water for myself. I just need to tidy up. That is gorgeous, though. I do just need to tidy up a little bit and figure out... Clean my airbrush a little more. Oh, more water in the spray bottle as well. Let's see. Oops. Let's see if we can slash. I don't know if there's a way to force an ad to go right now so I can take my break. Anyway, let's put that back then. Let's figure out what's going on with the airbrush first of all. Take a little bit cleaner, get my spray out here. There's a lot of paint trapped in there. Alright, now let's try the cleaner. Awesome. This thing is a little dirty. Alright, I just gotta get up and refill waters. Be right back, y'all. Alrighty, we're back. We've actually got the new water now. Which means I can actually finish cleaning my airbrush. Just like an incredible amount of red paint hiding in it. Yeah, I mean, geez. Where's all it coming from? Maybe this is why it was clogged. Not so bad. Okay, that seems to have taken care of it. Okay. A little bit more airbrush cleaner.
Yes.
Alright, and now the process starts again. This time I'm gonna go through and actually do all the steps on all 4 of the remaining bikers. Is the shading on this one good enough? It's good enough I'm not gonna notice. Sorry, I'm looking at this. Let me show you this. So I've got 6 total. I've already done 1 tester. I've done this one now as another tester for the new airbrush stuff. Now, looking at them side by side, there is a difference in how well the red is done, but it's not enough that I'm gonna notice it in the unit. So I think I'm okay leaving my test model as is. 4 more. Yeah, so 4 more Warbikers, and then I also have an old Warboss on Warbike, which I may just go ahead and do as well, as long as I'm doing all this stuff. I don't have a ton of Warbikers right now. Maybe I'll get more. Depends on how good they are next edition, and if I end up playing Speed Freaks for real next edition, or if that's just a passing fancy. Ghastwool, my Ghastwool is on the shelf right now. I still haven't painted them. Yeah, no, it's not right. Oh, GW already released one. It's No Lie Peak. Oh, the new war boss on Warbike you're talking about? The Wazdaka? Yeah, that one is pretty freaking peak. I am excited about it. Now, I have not bought it yet. Because one, saving money right now, and two, I have a suspicion that they are going to put it in a Battle Force box. So yeah, the new Wazdaka, which is the new war boss on bike. He's a named character now. They picked a specific named character from lore, and they, you know, gave him a model, which is cool. But that guy specifically, I'm pretty sure when they launch Warbikers, they're going to put him in a combo box with like 6 Warbikers, and I'm going to buy that instead of just buying him separately. That is the plan. And if I'm wrong, then I buy him later. If I want to. But that's what they've done with pretty much all the other like new big model releases, right? Like they did all the demon princes. That's exactly how they did all those. Anyway, shoo. Yeah, that's how they did all the demon princes. I mean, I think any big name character, that's basically their plan now, is they release them in solo, and then they come back and they put them in a box. So, a little silly. Ah, needle's bent. Oh. Oh. That explains the problems I was having. Bent the needle. Okay. Well, it is just an airbrush maintenance kind of night, huh? Good lord. It's not so bad. I don't think I can fix it. Let's try it. Damn, when did I bend the needle? This sharpener thing is pretty nice. That normally bending a needle is like a $10 mistake. Not anymore. This thing pays for itself. I'm not sponsored, but I really should get some. I'd be good at it. Love talking about products. Not in a shill way, just in a, you know, I love having solutions to problems kind of way. Okay. Well, that got all blue, so let's throw that back. Let's start from scratch here. Guardoil gray. Thinner. Yeah, a little more gray. Yep, I agree. Oh yeah, that's how that's supposed to be. I think what happened is I think I bumped it up against my glove. I think I was trying to clean the tip and I got a little sloppy and I bumped it up against the glove. Oh, God. If you watch this stream tonight, you'd get the idea that I don't take very good care of my airbrush. And to be honest, you're half right. I don't exactly baby this thing. I do take good care of it because it needs that, but if you know how to clean it and you get a sharpener, you can beat the hell out of these things and they'll keep going. That's what I've discovered. There you go. Brand name if you need it. I don't think there's another one of those on the market. So if you want one, that's the one to get. You're gonna feel pretty silly spending 50 bucks on that, and then you're gonna feel pretty freaking smart every time you use it. That's my experience. Alright. It's a little bit bespeckled. Nice. No, it's good to have repair kits and equipment. Your channel is unique to certain products like that sharpener you just used. Yeah, it's a good idea to maybe reach out to some of these businesses. Really, wait, hold on. That hasn't appeared on other channels before? Okay, again, this was my airbrush guy at the art store told me about this. So, holy shit, that's... Why has no one made a video about this yet? I guess I'll have to cut a short about it or something. Maybe a good chance to reach out to some of these businesses. Yeah, I mean, potentially, or, you know, I could talk to Spray Gunner about it. I think that's where I bought mine. But, oh, that would be cool. Yeah, maybe I'll do a little shout out and review of that thing, because... Huh. That's a bit too thin still. Yeah, honestly, it would be really cool just to like... I think it would be cool to do like factory tours as videos. Being real, I just want to like videotape and put out there like a lot of the companies and people that do interesting things in the hobby. And I just haven't managed to get those connections to come through quite yet. I've had opportunities, but they've just not amounted to anything. But no, that I appreciate that, Puffy Merc. That's good encouragement. Oh, it's tip dry. Okay. That time it's normal tip dry. Try not to bend the tip this time. Man, I'm just tiptoeing, just dancing around the line of too thick to too thin here. What is my air pressure? Yeah, 15 psi is usually good on this brush. Let's just get a little bit more because it's harder to atomize white pigments. Yeah, okay, that's better. And higher pressure. Don't give up, Spectral. The thing is, Warhammer 40k has only been growing in popularity. No, that's true. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean... So, Puffy Merc, to be honest, I have not been posting to YouTube very much recently. I haven't been doing a lot of, like, big hobby projects in general. And that's entirely for personal reasons. I have not given up. I've not lost, like, the love of the game or anything. I just have to I have surgery coming up this year. I'm taking time for my health and trying to get ready for things, and honestly, I've just been stressed and busy. So I've been trying to focus on that and getting my life in order before I, instead of, pouring all this extra energy into making videos. But I've been trying to keep the streams Ooh, hi Nico. Been trying to keep the streams normal, but I definitely, I definitely know that my channel will keep growing as soon as I get back and start putting more effort into it. Actually, in fact, right now, as I'm streaming this, I am actually recording the face cam clips, the microphone, and this, so, this could end up as background footage, like B-roll in a video. So, keep that in mind. I'm not entirely stopping. Honestly, I've just slowed down on editing and producing videos. I'm not really doing that anymore, but I'm still collecting ideas and footage for those ideas. I've got some fun stuff planned. I just, need to get to the other side of this big surgery thing before I can do some of that stuff. Put a more positive spin on it. I've been spending basically this whole last year, it's looking pretty nice by the way, or basically the last 3 months have been focused on building my capacity for creative stuff. So I'm trying to get, my health and my life and just things set up so that I can have my work and my life and a balance of things that I enjoy doing. And I've been spending more time like cultivating friendships and stuff, which is very important. And honestly, all those things, what they do, even though they take time, is they build my capacity to be creative. And so I think when I come back, I'm going to be stronger. Even though I haven't been practicing my craft as much, I'm doing a lot of things that are just going to make it easier, if not easier, just give me more ability to create. And a lot of that stuff is just stepping back and getting experimental and trying to find the fun in painting again, finding what I enjoy about painting again, which, as it turns out, is painting better than I was painting before. I've been working on getting better at painting, and I'm seeing like the progress, and the progress is very fun. That's sort of where I've been lately. I don't know, it's funny. It's like, hobbies are difficult, especially I've noticed with Warhammer, because it's a thing that like fuels me so much, and it makes it so much easier for me to do the other important things in my life. Like, to be able to go to work and like focus at work and, have... It's like the closest damn thing to self-actualization that I've got going on right now is the art and the expression of it all. It's like super important for my mental health, and yet it's at the same time such a frivolous activity that it's pretty easy to throw down the hierarchy when more important stuff comes up. And I can't really fault myself for not painting orcs when stuff gets serious, because of course that's how life's gonna go. But I just find that I actually have like less capacity to do those serious things when I do less of the silly stuff. It's been a bit of a catch-22. Holy mold line. God, 1 second. I cannot let that stand. Oh, sorry to hear. Focus on health is important. Oh, yes. Sorry. I am not ill. I am okay. People hear surgery, they get scared. I am okay. I am not. It's not some life-threatening illness. It's just, it's basically a birth defect, and it's a quality of life thing. So, I am finally in a place where I'm able to get surgery to have that quality of life improvement, and I'm very happy about that. I will be happy about that once it's done. I say it happy because I have to go through surgery, and that's going to be a whole thing. It's scary, but I'm doing okay. I appreciate the concern. I appreciate the prayers as well. That's very nice of you. You know, that's it's hard to talk about because people get freaked out. It's like, no, I'm okay. I'm gonna be okay. But yeah, I have been surprised how much mental time, how much mental energy it's taken up, how many of my resources it's taken up trying to get ready for this thing. Yeah, it's still important. No, it's still important. Absolutely, it's still important. But yeah, I've just been surprised how much the lead up to this has been just consuming my attention and stuff, and how much, you know, as I'm knowing that I'm gonna have this whole recovery time, like, I say it like it's unexpected. I should have expected this. I know that I'm going to be homebound for a good chunk of time, and I'm like, I don't want to be painting orcs in the last couple, you know, months that I have where I can really be out and about before I have to do all this recovery stuff. And so I've just been going out and socializing like crazy lately, knowing full well that in a while I won't be able to do that as much, and I'll be back to being indoors, but then I'll be able to paint way more orcs, so it'll work out. But yeah, it's funny, there was like a period of 6 months there where I always had some sort of big project going for the channel, and I've pretty much laid off of it, so it's going to be about another 6 months off, and then hopefully come back and find a way to do it sustainably for, you know, the next few years. That's really going to be my big goal, is beyond growth or anything, is just find a way, get to a point with my channel where it's something that I feel is sustainable, something I can be, you know, if not consistent with, you know, consistently working on, and consistently finding new and exciting things. And as long as I can maintain that, I'll be pretty happy with the whole YouTube thing. Thank God it's not more serious. Yeah, no. I'm gonna be okay. Okay, that one's good now. And yeah, knowing that I'm a very anxious person, I probably should have known this would happen to me, but anyway. That, you know, the part of it where I'm like completely focused on it and trying to get ready for it and not able to, you know, do the same stuff I normally used to do. That part should have been predictable, I guess. God, what am I saying? Although, Merc, there's a more, I don't know, there's a nicer side to this too, which is that, you know, I was spending a lot of time on trying to make videos and stuff, you know, trying to get growth on YouTube and on Twitch and stuff so I could get more viewers and have more connections with people, is ultimately what I was looking for there. And this still sounds cheesy, but it's completely true. One of the main things I wanted with this platform, and I continue to want with this platform, is literally just enough people in my chat to tell me when to hydrate. That's seriously a goal, but just having enough people around that I can talk to people while I'm hobbying and like learn about their hobbies. I did not expect this, but the thing I liked most about streaming, it's not so much about getting attention on me, which I guess I could have expected. That's not really who I am. It's really great that I just get to encounter strangers like yourself and like have conversations and connect. and it's like a super fun outlet for making friends with strangers. And when I went to Adepticon this year, I found Adepticon was basically that exact same thing. And part of what that made me realize is, you know, one, I'm very comfortable and already achieving a lot of my goals with the size that I'm currently at. And two, a lot of the experiences that I want are out there. I just have to go outside to get them and be like engaged with actual IRL community. And so that experience, funny enough, as inspiring as it was, actually made me a little bit less ambitious with my YouTube stuff. It made me feel a little bit less like this is something I have to do in order to get where I want to be. And what I'm realizing now is like, you know, hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube feels pretty good. Thank you for being part of that. I assume you're part of that. If you're not, whatever. But thank you for being here. That feels pretty good. You know, hitting whatever couple hundred followers on Twitch, being able to get affiliate, that all feels good. It feels surreal. But to be real, looking back on it, one of my best hobby accomplishments so far has been winning a fucking painting competition at a local tournament, like a local league, with my Torvista ball. Like they were the best they got voted the best painted in that league, and I got a little award about it, and I don't think I've topped that, actually. Like, there was just something so satisfying about, you know, having a warband that I brought to full fruition, and seeing those efforts recognized, and especially seeing them recognized in my local community. I mean, even more than a year later, folks in the Discord for that store are still pointing out my work to new people and talking about how cool it was. And I'm like, damn, that's kind of who I want to be. You know, is someone who paints pretty damn well and shows up and plays casually at the very least, and like is just well known about town. That's the type of fame I'm after, is just hobby store famous. I don't need to be YouTube famous necessarily, but I don't know. I think I found that showing up to Adepticon, I think it both made me want to never miss an Adepticon again because it's really fun, and I loved getting to go and meet so many people, but it also just makes me want to meet more people locally and be more involved in my like local community. So not to talk too much about things that I haven't done yet, but the goals for where I want to go with my channel, like my video output in the future, is less focused around the painting itself and is more focused around like the process of identifying these goals and pursuing them, right? Let's make it a little less LinkedIn. The process of finding things I want to do in the hobby, doing them, and, you know, trying to encourage other people to do them. Like, one of the big ones I want to do is I just want to make all my orcs look better. I have all these speed painted orcs. They don't look very good. I've been doing some streams testing out paint schemes. That's part of what this is. And I just want them to look better. So that's a big project. I actually want to do a video series just making my orcs look better. And I want the inspiration of that to be, hey, you know, don't repaint your first minis, but all the ones after that, if you want to repaint them or just throw a few more layers on, throw on an edge highlight, dry brush your basing, you know, paint the pants a different color. That's all I'm doing, you know, adding some layers to the skin. I'm taking projects that are already finished enough, and I'm just adding a couple details, taking them to the next level, and then I get to the end and I'm like, I'm actually proud of this model again. It's not about completely going back and starting over. It's just like a couple small improvements that make me like the army more. I don't know, I just think there's something beautiful about that. I kind of want to inspire other people to just not go back and repaint all their shit, but just to have like the confidence and the inspiration to just continue to try and get better at what they're doing. You know what's popular in the cosplay and video games? Cosplay is a bit more social. What's popular is the cosplay in video games. Cosplay's a bit more social, but video games can too. Warhammer 40k has plenty of different paths, which is cool. Space Marine 2 hit record players. Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot to the hobby too. That's the other thing is I think that I've just gotten so inspired meeting people and just getting exposed to more of this hobby. And I just want to try to have a platform that can highlight those people and like signal boost them. I mean, good lord, just the amount of cool stuff I saw at Adepticon that I never knew about on the internet. And not everything has to be on the internet, but just the amount of cool people out there who are just so focused on doing their cool stuff that they don't even have like publicity at all. Like, oh my god. I just want to like find these people and talk to them and record it and put it online and be to just get their stuff out there, you know? I just want to signal boost people. There's so much cool stuff I came across at Adepticon, and I just think it would be such a good excuse to make those deeper connections with people too. You know, to be able to like go in, do an interview, talk about what they're building, you know, what got them interested in it, all that sort of stuff. It just sounds so fun. But anyway, that's sort of the direction for the channel that I want to cook on going forward, which is dangerous to put these things to words because, you know, I'm talking about ideas before I've done them, which kind of gives your brain the same dopamine as doing the ideas, but these are things I'm serious about. I really want to do this. Detail is key. I would suggest practice on hand-painted set pieces. Practice the war skull icon over and over until you have it perfect. Yeah, absolutely. In my case, what I'm actually gonna do is just practice on boys, like old models. I have so many old models, and I'm just going to like paint the hell out of them. I'm doing edge highlighting on orc boys, right? If I do edge highlights on all the black armor and weapons for my orc boys, and I think I have 40 of them. I'm going to have 60 after I buy the Armageddon box, right? If I do edge highlighting on 60 orc boys, I think I'm going to be pretty freaking good at edge highlighting at the end of that process. Especially if I go and then do it on all my knobs and all my commandos, etc., right? It's like a very natural way to get practice. Like what you're saying is absolutely true. I could just go and practice the thing over and over again in a vacuum. But me, I find it a little bit more like encouraging to actually have some sort of tangible progress at the end. So for me, it's less about having a perfect collection of orcs and just more about doing the techniques that I'm interested in, making my collection look nicer, and then just naturally getting practice in more advanced techniques. Because right now, up until now, I've been falling into this trap of being like, oh, it's just army painting, I don't have to do all this fancy stuff, or feeling like all this fancy stuff would be inappropriate somehow, and I'm just trying to go against that impulse, basically. Agreed. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you're on the same page here. Yeah, that's essentially the idea. It's less making excuses for why I can't have good-looking, battle-ready orcs and just saying, you know what, I am just gonna spend a lot of time on my orcs, on all of my basic foot troops, and that's just gonna be part of how I hobby from now on. And I think that's honestly really fun. And I'm excited that I'm going to be building skills that are going to let me just continue to get better and better at painting in a serious way, and I can keep like pushing my skills. That it's inspiring, I guess. I don't know. Oh, okay. We're back to painting red. So last time I did my mid-tone, and then I strengthened the highlights. Sorry, strengthened the shadows, and then I did mid-tone again, highlight. I feel like that worked. I feel like that really worked, and I don't want to like... That worked really well, and I don't want to like go back and try and do it a different way to save a step. Maybe that's what I gotta do. Oh my god, I forgot entirely about Garippa. do I want to do this? Oh god, I'm getting tired. Oh, and it's getting late. Alright. Merc, I've really been enjoying the conversation, so I'm going to stretch it a little more. But what we're going to do here, my plan is that I'm going to do the value sketch on my Rippa here, my old war boss on Warbike. Boop. And I am going to do that, and I'm going to call that a night. Because I do need to get to bed so I can go back to work in the morning. And hopefully actually make some forward progress again. Because today at work, it's embarrassing. So I discovered that some of my work had not properly saved, and in process of trying to restore it, I actually ended up erasing even more of my work. And so I basically spent an entire day just redoing work that I accumulated over the past couple weeks. Luckily, a lot of the individual components were saved. I just had to stitch them back together, and I already knew all the decisions I had to do, so I was faster the second time. But yeah, that was kind of a lost day today at work. I'm a little upset about it. So anyway, if I'm not on my game tomorrow, then stuff's really gonna start to pile up, because I just basically wasted an entire day today redoing things that I already done, which I do not have time for. So anywho, this is a long way of saying I do need to go to bed at a reasonable time tonight. This is a very pretty model, I'm noticing. When it was painted previously... Well, I can't even say it was painted poorly. It's just that this army, I believe, was all like 5th edition orcs, right? So I think that this army, all the orc models I had, were maybe painted like somewhere between 15 and 20 years ago. And just frankly, the amount of information available in the hobby, I'm sure what was done was very high standard for, you know, before the YouTube explosion happened. Certainly, it's not like the 90s. The early aughties weren't like the 90s in terms of the dearth of information on how to paint well. But yeah, they were painted okay, very acceptable standard, but like, just not, you know, not the way people do stuff today. Okay, that's that gray. Let's do a little more gray. Agreed. Yeah. I should have had good photos of it. It's not even fair to do a before and after though, because the before wasn't my own work. But it was just like, basically everything was painted with like mid-tone and a wash, and that was kind of it. So like, you know, whoever it was before had gone through and like, you know, they'd painted metals and they'd painted black and they made these barrels different colors, and it just wasn't a coherent paint scheme, and it just didn't really work. Anyway. But now that I'm taking it back to first steps, I'm seeing the beauty of the sculpt again, which was really lost, because I think it's fair to say the previous paint job was just super muddy. Yeah, that's a good word for it. It was muddy. Everything was super dark and muted, and you couldn't really tell the shapes apart. And so a lot of the complexities of this model just were sort of not there. So I'm trying to have this, he's a little bit, the way I've got him posed up, actually it would be like that. So sorry, this should be the top here. I'm trying to have him with like a bit of a forward highlight, right? Because he's going to be sitting on the bike thusly, but I really want to call attention around his face here Because that's going to be one of the big highlights of the piece. And let's get the Ripa really nice. Bright. Yeah. We get his weapon itself very bright. Okay. And then, actually, we'll go back over the bike and do a couple of these things. Haven't done enough on the back here. If this was a Goth, this would be acceptable, but an Evil Sun needs to be a little brighter. Alright, so this is all gonna kind of be... Actually, all of this is basically gonna be in shadow. We can paint a little more in around here, but this is gonna be sitting on a seat. This is all gonna be very tucked in. I think it's okay for this all to be in shadow, really. And then this is all gonna be backed up against this jet intake here. So I don't mind if that fades off into shadow. I like the zero-turn skid steer on tracks. Yeah, this is interesting. Oh, I really like, this is actually a base, this is the base that comes directly from Forge World when you buy this, or when you bought this. And it actually has mud in there, which I think is awesome. Look at that, it's got mud and it's got tire tracks, that's just fun. Dude, the previous owner did sand over this entire thing. Like, they did sand texture base, which is nuts because, hey, take a look at what texture this is. That's right, sand. So why would you take this gorgeous sculpted sand that the people at Forge World did and put freaking playground sand over the top of it and get rid of all these beautiful tire tracks? Senseless. Awful. Anyway, took all that off. Let's go a little more here. So we're gonna cheat the highlights on the Ripa here. Really make it bright. Okay, there we go. Good cheating. Great. Now we'll do the ivory over top. That'll be it for the stream. Streaming way later than normal. A lot of my folks have gone to bed. Oh, I didn't even notice the typo. I read skid steer. Yeah, this Warbite's pretty freaking awesome. Here, I'll come in and show you some of the details on the kit here before I do the highlights. Now that we've actually got things painted and you can tell what the details are. So this is a Forge World kit. I guess I have to explain what that is. You seem to know your stuff, but there might be people who don't know about old GW things. It is old at this point. So Forge World used to be a separate brand. It's a separate division within Games Workshop that works in resin. They make like very fancy resin kits. Resin is great because you can produce smaller batches of it. It's economically possible to produce smaller batches of it as compared to the injection molded stuff where you have to make like thousands of things in order to make it economically viable. You could produce, once you make a resin model, it's just, you just keep recasting the molds. Anywho, so that as a result of that, they also do very complex stuff. They do very fancy models, and some details you wouldn't normally see because these are considered like, these are pretty expert level kits. These are things that only very invested hobbyists will buy. They were very expensive back in the day. and they're kind of a pain in the ass to put together, and everyone knows that. But as a result, you get some really wacky stuff, like these individually modeled foot pegs. One of these broke off. It was a pain in the ass to get back on. Tire tracks, ammo belts feeding each of these guns. Gorgeous. Let's see. We've got, I love the welding here, actually. Look here, you can see there's actually weld beads modeled on connecting these plates together. That's not normally in an orc model. Like, none of the warbiters have that kind of a detail. That's sort of the resin modeling extra zhuzh. There's all these plates bolted onto the ammo box down here. Like, there's just an insane amount of detail on everything. Look, there's a weld on this plate back here. You can see that this seat here is kind of like stitched together out of random scraps. But my favorite part about the way this works is that this is a jet engine, which you can see the bottom half of it is covered up because, you know, that's where he sits. You don't want him getting sucked into the jet engine. But yeah, it's basically a jet. It's like a rocket on the back of this freaking thing. That's the motor. Oh, springs for the rear suspension. Just a loony amount of detail here. Oh, here's his brake cylinder. Yep, this thing does have brakes, apparently. 2 fuel tanks. You can actually see, like, oh, there's more welding. You can actually see the subframe of the bike. Just a nutty amount of detail going on here. And what I really love with that level of detail is that there's actually belts, individual belts modeled showing the power transmission up to the end of the Ripa. So you can literally see on this model, here. You can literally see on this model, all right, here's the button where he controls it. You can see that they've modeled not only the grip, but a thumbstick, and the end of that thumbstick, I can't get close enough, includes a small button, all right? From there runs 2 wires, positive and negative, right, for the switch, so you can complete the circuit. That would be 2 wires, not 1 wire. They've shown 2 wires. That goes down to this motor, which in turn is connected by 2 wires to this battery. Individual leads clipping onto this battery. An electric motor goes through this belt section with a tensioner, with a spring on the freaking tensioner, and then this chain, it transitions to a chain here, including a chain guard at the very end, and then that goes into the Ripa itself, and you can see they've even got a freaking shield so he doesn't cut his hands on it. That is not just detail, this is mechanically and electrically accurate to how you would do this. This is practically a schematic for how to build this weapon. Don't try this at home, kids. But literally, you could build this thing and make it functional with this exact set of components. Like, mechanically, this is completely sound. It's actually insane how detailed this is. I feel like that was worth going on a little ramble there. Sorry, I'm a mechanical engineer in my day job, so I kind of understand what they're implying about the function of this by looking at it, and it's just like, you can tell that whoever designed this had an idea in mind, not just for how this should look, but literally how it would function. And I just freaking love that. That's such a cool thing to see on kits. Whoever did this must have been the same crazy person who put fully modeled suspensions and drivetrains on the bottom of trucks. I just respect it. Like, that's big respect for anyone that's got that much of a meticulous attention to detail and can implement it in an artful way. I think that's just so cool. It's just so interesting seeing completely plausible orc technology, you know? Like, there's no magic holding this one together. The only thing that's magic about this is that the bearings don't fall apart with no grease on them. Like, that's the orc magic. Everything else is just simple mechanics. Like, the orc magic here isn't that this works. It isn't that, you know, a jet engine pushed the damn thing and it's got a fuel line running right there. The orc magic is that you don't get sucked in and the turbine doesn't explode if you don't balance it perfectly. I don't know. Something about the mechanical part of my brain is just tickled by it, you know? That you can just mechanically understand exactly how the damn thing is supposed to work. And the orc magic is all about just making sure that it doesn't blow up. You know, or at least doesn't blow up immediately. It takes a while to blow up. Alright, and there we go. It's a nice piece. I agree. Apologies if I went into too much more extra detail about how nice of a piece I think it is. Okay, folks. Let me get the zoom out here. Let's go wide, actually, so we can see everything we're dealing with. Alright. This one's red. This one is basically done with base coats. That one's completely base coated, actually has some layers. This one's red. These ones are ready to become red, as is our war boss. So we're making some progress. I'm going to clean this airbrush before I absolutely forget to do it. And hang out for a second. The summer slump is absolutely on. I'm not seeing as many of my regular viewers right now, which is okay. I appreciate whoever's still hanging around. It's summer, we're all busy, I get it. I'm about to be real busy. But I'm saying all this to say basically, I'm probably not going to do a raid tonight because I only have, I think, one Twitch viewer watching right now. Thanks if that's you. Appreciate you. You're a real one. You're the real one, in fact. Let's see. Mech Boys use the WA field, but nonetheless, functionality is cool. But yeah, an orc has some wiggle room. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, not to get too much into the lore at such a late hour, Puffy Mark. I guess I can do this as I'm cleaning my airbrush. I like the more grounded sort of, like... There's a lot of nuance to mechanics and repairing things and making mechanical devices. Like, a lot of it is really just about making sure that everything is clean and well oiled, and like when you put something together, just being very careful and meticulous and making sure there's not any play or slop in the bearings. And those things, when you get them wrong, just destroy stuff so freaking fast. And I think the orcs basically get to bypass all that nuance. They don't really have to care about tolerances. They just kind of put a thing together roughly in the right shape and then it works. But I do like in the design of some of these models, especially, you can see that it's not that they're completely skipping mechanical fundamentals. It's like, look, they've got an engine here. Oh, let's zoom in. See, look, there's an engine there. You know, there's a whole engine. There's a fuel tank. There's a drive belt happening. They've got a steering system. Like, this is a functional mechanical. It looks like a motorcycle. Even in the details, it looks like a motorcycle. And I think that the way orcs work, and I really like this interpretation, is that they are entirely based on how things look. So the fact that this looks like a motorcycle means that it works. It's not that they can close their eyes and pretend they're riding a motorcycle and suddenly they start hovering through the air. But if they sit on something that looks like a motorcycle and there's enough orcs around, it's gonna turn over. It's not like you and me in the real world where if we forget to put, you know, gas in the tank, or we don't, you know, set up our carburetor properly or attach the vacuum lines in the right place, it's not going to turn over. Those real subtleties I don't think exist for orcs. But I think that they basically just get to shortcut all the bullshit and minutia, but as long as they get the 80%, okay, it looks like it would work. And then that's all it takes. You know, they do have to put bullets into their guns. They don't have to load them into a magazine, they just have to put them in the gun somewhere, even if they're rattling around. And they will run out of bullets when they stop rattling around. Like, they still have to do the basics. Put bullet in gun, shoot gun, bullets come out. Oh no, no more bullets. They still have that, but they just don't have to do the craziness of feeding bullets one by one into a chamber at speed. Except sometimes they do anyway. I don't know. It depends on the day. depends what the mechs are paying attention to that day. What I like about this, it's not just me being pedantic about the lore. I like that the way orcs build things is the way that we build things as miniature modelers. It's that we put things together and we say, yeah, that pretty much looks like it's right, you know? Where's a good example of that I did here? I did a conversion on this guy. Oh yeah, here we go. This guy needed a way to hold a choppa, because what you see is what you get. I do believe in it a little bit. I think it's a fun modeling challenge. This guy wanted a little bit more DACA, a lot of bit more DACA. So, you know, he's got extra bullets in case these ones run out of bullets because he's firing twice as many. Or alternatively, one of these guns is just holding ammo and not actually shooting. He just hasn't noticed yet. But I wanted him to have a choppa and I wanted a place to put it. So I just put this here and I said, okay, that basically looks like it would be a choppa holder. That basically looks like it would hold on, and therefore it works. And it's like, oh, 2 guns, you know, they're kind of feeding ammo from here. That looks like it works, so it works. Anyway, I like the logic of it because it makes me feel like an orc. It makes me feel like I'm in their world, building their stuff with them. I can just put my bits and glue them together and make it look about right, and it doesn't matter that I'm doing it differently than everyone else, because there's not one prescribed way that all the orc stuff works. It all just has to generally be right. And I just think that's, I don't know. I think that's really cool when you consider the way, especially when you contrast that to the way that the Imperium works, where everything is based on an STC, and so there's like one way to build an Imperial Knight, and there's one way to build a set of, like, you know, Terminator armor, and people will customize them, but the base components have to be done the exact same way, or else chaos gets in and it screws everything up. Orcs are very much the opposite of that, and I just think it's... I don't know why this stuff incites my brain. I don't know. Too much Tylenol as a kid. Anyway. Stupid shit. Alright, I'm gonna get to bed here. It's past 10 p.m. But thank you so much for hanging out, everyone who's still here. Puffy Merc over on YouTube, thank you so much for hanging out. It's been awesome talking to you. I hope to see you around on future streams. But yeah, I am going to get offline here. So, hey, if you're watching my VOD still, thank you so much for watching my VODs. That's awesome. I don't know how many people actually watch these things all the way through. Give me a shout in the comments if you do. I'd love to know. And good luck at work or your next meeting or whatever you're putting off in order to watch this in the back. All right. Bye, YouTube. Subbed. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, I think that makes you somewhere in the low thousands. So, fantastic. Yeah, I think I just hit 1,000 subscribers, well, back in like March, and I haven't really gone anywhere since. But thank you so much. That's awesome. All right.